Hello everyone and welcome back to another build show off video. In the walls video from 2 weeks ago, I did receive a comment asking to see some of these wall designs in a larger, bigger scale build. So I have gone ahead and created that larger build for y'all to see. My time-lapse file did corrupt, so there will not be any time-lapse footage of it. And more often than not, the time-lapse videos don't end up performing as well. But then again, in general, more recently my videos haven't been performing as well due to the long hiatus I had. So I am just going to be walking through this build, talking about some stuff that I did and how you can recreate it. What I've essentially tried to create here is like a possible multiplayer dockside base almost, using the ocean and then some of the wall designs as well as the house design that I like to use. As you can see behind me, I've also used some new designs with like store stalls and all that, and I'll explain the significance of each building and decorative design as I go on. So obviously as you walk in here, we have this arch with this wall design that copies all the way around, and as you walk in you kind of get like this vendor area just to start off with. Now the way that I've built this is just using the fences and wool and then the wood, and then I've created this mud path which goes all the way around, and then you can just enter from whatever angle you need to, or not whatever angle, you can enter through these trapdoors and get into the chests. Now realistically, if it's a single player server, this is more than likely just going to be like a fancy storage. I've tried to kind of leave everything in one spot and somewhat color code it, like you have your paper and gunpowder and fireworks all here. You have all your end stuff here with your ender chest in it. Then you have all your enchanting stuff, because I was thinking blue is kind of like lapis. You have all your stone products over here in the gray tent. Over here I just have all the wood. I didn't use a brown because I don't really like the brown wool, but the cyan was left, so I just threw that under here. The yellow has all the nether stuff. As you can see, that one's inverted compared to the normal white on the outside. And then the black all here, this is all, or sorry, this is potion stuff here, and then all the nether stuff is under the black. So as you can see, you can kind of color code these little overhangs to what you're going to use. And basically all I did was I took the wool and then the carpets and just try to give it as much of like a curved design or like a tent design that I could. And then over here for these, I just did the same thing. And apparently forgot to put that carpet there, so just kind of giving it like a almost like a ramp effect. Obviously you can't put the carpet down here, otherwise I would, but then it wouldn't be much of a carpet because it would be on the top of the block instead of the bottom of the block. But yeah, you can play around with it. You can have taller tents, smaller tents. I didn't end up opting for the smaller tents, but I left the taller one just so I could show it off, and also that way I could keep the barrel here. But overall, I think it's good if you want like a decorative storage system. It's not as much functional, like it's not like those massive auto sorting storage rooms or anything, but it can definitely be used to your advantage. As we move on here, we're going to go ahead and go to like this bar slash tavern slash restaurant type thing. This could also somewhat act as like a very decorative brewery. There's nothing in here that's functional. This is all completely for looks back here. But over here you have like your bar side, so you have your brewing stand. These acts, to me, I thought these were like cups, or could look like cups, so I put them on all the tables. The common scaffolding and bamboo trapdoor chair that I like to use with just trapdoor tables here. They're easy to create. They only end up taking 3 blocks. They take this and then the actual like part where you can place the flower pot, and then the other trapdoor which flies up. And then I just surrounded the barrels here with the bamboo trapdoor just to keep it from being all like one continuous wall here. And then I also, originally I had signs on this row, but when I put the tripwires in to act as like the kegs, for a lot of those kind of backside bars have like the kegs or like the soda machines back there where you kind of like tap it and it'll kind of pour out. And then I just have a bunch of potions up here, almost like a drink menu. But that's kind of the general idea. I just kind of did that. I did leave this section open here because I thought an open seating idea would be cool with the bar kind of like outside. So I kind of put like a post and then continued the wall design around. And the only difference here with this post compared to being like a wall is the posts, I have to kind of arrange it to not look awkward and like it's kind of not holding up its weight. So I added these supports here. compared to over here where it has this wall holding it up. Obviously there's a lot of lanterns here. I usually play in full bright, so I don't notice it as much, but I don't believe that I have full bright on right now. So as you can see, just kind of using what you have to your advantage. I tried to use easy blocks to obtain as much as I could with just the deep slate and the stone brick, just because this is something I could see myself recreating in my own world. Using the same overhang idea that I like to use for these edges where the roof comes up, and just using my same kind of curved slant roof. It doesn't work as well in these larger designs because it kind of like curves a little bit and then just goes straight and then ends. But if you look at it long enough, it'll work. Over here, I kind of did like this curved design for this balcony. Originally, this also had the curved design. You can see how I kind of kept that with the floor. But roof-wise, it wasn't going to work because I didn't want to have two balconies next to one another. This is your blacksmith shop. I've actually made like an open window design over here with your blacksmith shop spelled like Old English. As you can see, this is all storage, and this would be where you sell everything. This is kind of like your forge. You have your barrel, your anvil, your lava. I did put it in the cauldrons because it won't burn the wall down since it is made out of wood. And then you just have some of the work that's been done with your iron ingots and your pickaxe and your leggings. And then if you come in here, you can just see I've kind of made like 3 different storage areas. So we have this back wall storage area, the side wall storage area, and then the central storage area. I was going to put one back here, but I liked being able to walk around this middle one. And I also wanted to make access to the ladder easy. Up here is pretty simple. You just have your bed design with a double chest, your potted plant here, and then the lantern design that I like to use, or lamp design that I like to use here with a lightning rod and a stripped log. It doesn't matter what strip log you use. I use birch here because it worked well against the spruce wood. But then you have your ender chest here, and then outside is just kind of a basic balcony. I did have to enclose this one pillar to make it, you know, not look awkward when it connected over here. So I did almost act like the wall ended and it stuck back up. So I kind of took this design here and created it up here. And then obviously the same design here. We have our overhang again, and that's actually translated on all 3 sides that are open. And then again here, this is all trapdoors. As you can see, it's stone on one side, and then I put trapdoors on the other because it kind of looked weird when you just had like the wood on the right side and then the stone on the left. So, and then overhang we have on all 4 sides over here because I did just decide to go for a what I call a plus roof, where it kind of goes out on all 4 ends. And the slant roof works better here because it's smaller, so it slants a bit easier, or curves a bit easier. So yeah, that is your blacksmith shop design. Using a lot of these are using the same color palette because, you know, a lot of these you'd only have access to a lot of one wood, and spruce is one of the easiest woods to get because you can grow those mega trees. So that's why you see me use spruce a lot. Also, I just like spruce; it's cool. But next we're going to go to a more functional build, still along this path. Did make a small pond here with a bunch of tropical fish. We're going to move into probably one of the only functional builds, and we're going to go ahead and go into this like furnace room. So basically you have your smoker, your blast furnaces, and then I have 4 normal furnaces. And I did put these stone pressure plates up here for decoration. You have like an auto smelter where you just throw fuel and like whatever you're cooking, and it'll all drop out into this chest, and then some excess coal. You could mine this if you need to. Hopefully you don't need to, but this is kind of like just an extra stockpile. I debated putting a chest here, but then I felt like it would be pretty just kind of like one block. As you can see, it's all textured fully with stone, cobblestone, and stone brick, just to keep it from being too, not monotone, but like what I call mono texture. Where it all just looks the same. As you can see, the wall is actually pushed in a block compared to a lot of these other builds where the wall is actually on level with the frame that I've built. I did that just to kind of give it some more variety, and also so I could push it back a little bit more and kind of change up, you know, how I was building these. Didn't do like an overhang design. I decided to use like a gate and fence design because you can hang these lanterns off of the fences. I used a similar design for the roof and for like all the framework. The only real difference in the framework is how it connects here. I kind of created this circle design that kind of like almost pictures the stone wall, and allows you to kind of just, it adds a bit more shape to it compared to just having it flat. And I think it worked really well. The same design is kind of wrapped around this entire area with the fence. And then the same deep slate and stone brick roof. Now we're going to go ahead and let's just keep going this way. We're going to move over into the actual player house. This is really just to live in. I added some extra storage out here because you know people are going to need extra storage. You have your one smoker, your one blast furnace, and your one normal furnace here, just, you know, for ease of access. You have some minor storage here in the form of barrels, and then like a desk with a lantern to keep the area lit up. And then I did add some more storage up here with 2 double chests, a single chest on like the shelf, and then a barrel. And back here is your bed, just a pretty simple design with the bed encased in slabs and stairs, and then using trapdoors to kind of overhang a lantern to make sure that area is lit up with signs on the end to act like a foot, not a footrest, but like a foot stop, I guess. Obviously, if it's a larger room, you can add more decoration, but due to the fact that all of these areas are a 3x3, and then you have the little framework, so really it's like a 3x3, a 3x3, a 3x3, and then a 3x1 and a 3x1. This entire 3x3 being taken up by the bed shortens this entire space up, so I just kind of decided to use it for, you know, just your storage. And I have realized that there is no crafting table in this entire build, and you might want one of those. But you can, what is that? You can pretty easily just throw that here if you need to, and it still fits in pretty well with this shelf, and it doesn't cut off the smoker, so it still works. Next off, we're going to go ahead and move into another functional design. This is your storage room. As you can tell, it is probably the longest build, and that is because if I open this door here, it's filled with chests. And obviously none of these are marked because I'm in a creative world. I don't need to store anything. I can just pull anything out of wherever I want. Now, the biggest thing about this storage room is if you need something quick, you can pretty easily just open a trapdoor and grab something. Now, these top chests and bottom chests aren't really reachable. I mean, you can kind of get to them, I think. Yeah, you can get to them, but it takes a lot of effort. So it is easier just to go inside, but if you need something, you know, super important that's in these 2 rows of chests, you are able to get it using the trapdoors. And just using the same frame design here, we brought back the fence and gate design for the ends. So some of these have the overhangs, some of these have the fence and gate, some of these are actually a mix of the fence and gate. And I didn't go over the roof of here. This is another deep slate one with the same kind of idea. Very similar frame to the rest of these. I did try and keep a lot of the same designs just to kind of make it uniform and look more like one cohesive base. Did kind of have to change a bit of the design here just due to the way that the door was. So yeah, pretty simple storage room. Did have to add some framing here because you can't put chests here because there's no trapdoor. And also I think having these little gaps with the frame kind of adds some more shape to it, as it kind of looks like it's being held up a bit more. It also allows you to put this light in pretty easily, or make it look more cohesive with the build compared to just having like a random slab right here, which wouldn't line up because there's only 2 real blocks that you could place it on. So yeah, obviously this is once again not an auto sorter, so you would have to manually sort all of this, and I think if you wanted to auto sort it, you're gonna have to do a lot of work with redstone, and I don't know how to do that. I'm like Grian, but worse. The floor here is the common andesite and stone that I like to use for some of these builds. Seen also over on the blacksmith side with it. It's a floor design that I like to use because the colors work together, but it still makes it, you know, it doesn't keep that mono texture like I spoke about with the furnace room. Once again, going back to this pond, this is just, I continued the path over here with mud dropping into the packed mud stuff. Dropping into the first layer, and then I put mud at the bottom because I thought it would look cooler because it's deeper. So usually when you look into water, the deeper it gets, the darker it is. Minecraft does an okay job of relaying that, but not really as much as just switching to a darker block. So yeah, that's easier to do than digging way down. Next up, we have the farm. Pretty simple, just put moss carpet in the middle. The entire bottom, this is all water along here, so pretty simple. And then this side is wheat, this side is potato. It's like a 3 by however many blocks that is, I'm not quite sure. You can make it whatever size you need to make it to be functional. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. It kind of depends on what you need at the time. But I kind of added this as like an extra fenced off section so you couldn't get back here. Finally, for this top area, before I go over some small details, we have the stables. The roof here is interesting. It was kind of hard to come up with, and I'm still not quite sure if I'm 100% with it. But yeah, so basically we have 2 stables here, and this, I left this wall open because I like the idea of having that wall open better than I did having it like 2 completely separate buildings. The same design for both. Obviously, that one is mirrored from this one. I built this side first. But you have the same hay bale design that I showed off in the decorations video from last week, which was 30 minutes long. It was way longer than I thought. I did leave the chicken in here, as you can tell by the fact it just dropped an egg. But then I remembered that I'm going to put the horse in the lead anyway, because they were trying to jump over this fence. So, yeah, there's just chicken noises now for no reason, but I'm not changing it now. So, and then the horses honestly took longer than decorating. Taming the horses was a massive pain. But once you tame them, it's pretty easy. Just use the same hay bales. I did take the dark oak stairs and place them here to waterlog them, to act as like a water trough, one of the two, I'm not sure. And then just like a campfire here. I think that's how the horses got up there. And then, like I said, similar design here, just with an item frame with wheat. Actually, seems the same. Yeah, same over there. And then I did move the trapdoor from here because I wanted to put the lantern down and move the campfire. So we have 2 signs there. There's no chicken in this one, just that one. But same water trough design and everything. But yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the small details. Really just small decorations I threw in. So you have all the flowers here. I didn't continue the mud path all the way around. You can actually see the grid here. You kind of have like 4 main paths. You have the main shopping area in the top right, or on the right side, and then you have the path that goes from the shopping center all the way to the left towards the player house. That's like a road. And then from the front of the furnace building straight down to the farm. And then from the entrance to the docks straight to the stable. This is kind of how I view it, like 3 separate road areas, or 4 separate road areas, or whatever. Because I kind of count the shopping center as its own area over here, just due to how it's so different compared to the rest of this. But I still think it fits in pretty well. I did want to use something other than spruce wood, because obviously the entire rounding was spruce wood, and I knew a lot of these buildings were going to be spruce wood, so I wanted to make the shopping center stand out on top of the very colorful wool. But that is the build up top complete. Now I'm going to go ahead and show the part with the arches and the walls that I actually promised I'd show. First of all, holding this all up, I have created this, like I said, on a mountain connected to the ocean, so you can kind of do this wall design. This is not unfinished, I promise. It's just where it cut off, and I wanted to keep the design like it was still going. But I did use the circle design, or sorry, not the circle design. I took one of the basic arches and just mimicked the bottom to kind of give it the circular design, which I liked better than just having the arch, because it felt more supported to me. Like, it looked more supportive. It looked more structurally like real, like it would really exist. And then just continues over here, and then the staircase down. Say you're coming down to the docks, you would take this, you would see this is the circle arch here with the kind of circle at the top, and then you have the staircase down, and then you really have 2 ports. So you have 2 ways to get into each port. You have the right side here, and then you'll have this side for the same one, and same here. Now I did use the circle arch. Obviously here you can see I did the same spruce log background in the circle, and then the textured background here. But what you've seen that I've done is I've actually added some stuff in here to make it more usable. I've added the barrels here for storage, as well as the chest, the campfire for decoration, the smoker and furnace for use. Another chest. I've added boats to all of these because boats can be used for decoration really easily. I also added the lanterns here just to make sure that this area was lit. This is a treasure map that I found from the sunken ship. I believe it is... It wasn't that one. It was a different one, like over there. I remember that because I kind of got bored and went through like the water cave that was down here. So I put this on a glow item frame. So if I go to... sorry, I've just tapped out. If I go to time set midnight, the map will still glow. And as you can see, this entire area is very well lit up, except for maybe this entrance piece here, which you can pretty easily do by just hanging a lantern on these 2 blocks. And then the other unlit part is down here, but that is because no one's supposed to go down here. And mobs aren't able to get up anyway, so it's not really a major threat. I guess they could if they jump up here, but I don't think they're actually able to because the block is too thin for them to jump up on. Obviously, the roofs are spawn proof, so that does work out. So no mobs should spawn. I do build most of my builds in peaceful, just because it's annoying when you build an area and haven't lit it up yet, and all the mobs spawn in it, and then you have to like take all of them out. It's not fun. But yeah, so I did take this general idea with these blocks and I just kind of mimicked it over on each one just to kind of make it look more full. And yeah, so that is going to go ahead and be the entire build. This did take a few days just because I was on and off. There will be no video next week as I will be out of town, and then videos will be kind of sparse just because of school and then soccer. I am a bit overloaded compared to last May when I was uploading weekly. So the hope is to do at least once every 2 weeks. And then if I can, I'll try and release every week. But I'm hoping to at least keep once every 2 weeks. But yeah, so I will go ahead and I will catch y'all hopefully in 2 weeks. Yeah, because not next week. So hopefully I'll catch y'all in 2 weeks. Deuces.